Hey guys, Scott back with a new beer dissection video for you today. Let me cut right to the chase. What I have from Other Half Brewing Company is called Jumbo Slice. I'm sure, again, I don't know why I always stick the can in front of the camera all the time, as if I'm not going to have a picture it over my shoulder. But it's your Imperial IPA. It's coming in at, might as well just give you the specs, 8%. They're using Galaxy and Tuca El Dorado hops, at least they advertise. I've done a few under my beer dissection of the Other Half Brewing Company. I believe they're out of, God, I want to say Middletown, New York, but I could be mistaken. Actually, they have it down in D.C. Okay, Washington, D.C. I don't know what made me think that it was in Middletown, New York. That may be Equilibrium. Sorry. But anyway, I've reviewed at least one. I think they make the broccoli beer. Sounds worse, right? It's not really broccoli, but they have the broccoli all over the can. If I'm not mistaken, and there's one other. Sometimes some of these guys have these little kitschy little labels and names and things like that. I lose track of all the beers I've done over the last year or so. So it actually has Washington, D.C., Other Half Brewing Company, had like pieces of pizza on there. Why they do that? The same reason, same question I had when I saw the broccoli one. You know, why they had broccoli all over the can. But anyway, I had good memories of those beers, and so let's just get right to the chase. Got my regular Teku class here, and that's it. It's saying Imperial and IPA. Now, listen, I don't want to split hairs. I mean, a lot of times these look like New England IPAs, hazy, juicy IPAs. I'm not expecting it's an Imperial West Coast IPA, but we'll see. And that's it. All right. So if you want to get more info on there, you can take a look at their website. All right. So let's crack this bad boy open and get this poured out into my glass. Now, I'm not going to pour a lot here, but let's take a look at this. So we have I got about 1/4 of an inch here, but, pretty dense foam. It's almost got that little crema look from espresso. Wow, I'm really getting some nice aromatics, even just from the can sitting about 18 inches from my face. Nice frothing. You're kind of getting a little bit of that Cool Whip effect on top of the beer, which I always think looks attractive, as well as sits nicely in this glass. Let's take a look at the color. Kind of got a medium straw color, maybe even a darker straw color. Definitely opaque. It has that hazy look to it, like it was literally a New England IPA. Now remember, those of you who follow me have heard me say this a million times. You're probably tired of hearing it, but some people just started following me. A lot of these New England IPAs or hazy IPAs use, besides the copious amounts of hops and dry hopping, I have a whole hop video, I talk about dry hopping, which is the polyphenols and the hop matter. A lot of them will use, in addition to, say, two-row malt or Pilsner malt, they will use some oats in the grist, as well as, what am I drawing a blank on? Oh, I'm sorry, unmalted wheat. That was the one that was like, fell out of my mind there for a second. And that adds, with the protein content, it adds some of that cloudiness, murkiness that you get in a lot of the New England hazy IPA. So if you haven't heard that before, you're hearing it now. So if you listen to my other videos, I go into more detail about it. But typical New England IPA look, pretty standard. All right, so let's take a sniff of the aroma. Oh, wow. Wonderful. I get some pineapple, like some tropical fruit, like pineapple. Like what I love about my Teku glass, I can twirl it without it spilling all over the place. It's definitely, so pineapple. There's some stone fruit in here. Try to think. It's kind of got like a little bit of a peach, slight citrus, maybe like, like a mandarin peel and things like that. What hops were they using again? Tuca El Dorado. You know, but definitely the passion fruit. I'm sorry, little passion fruit too. Maybe that was sneaking in on me. Pineapple, stone fruit, like I said, peach. I even get like, you know, on the maybe not as much of the, you know, mandarin. You kind of get like more of an apricot type of aroma. So even though the apricot kind of falls in that, to me, my perception is kind of that orange character. All right, that I get from apricot, but not overpowering. So it's not kind of like, so it's more apricot than it's really orange as far as the citrus, but there is tropical fruit. You know, I'm not an expert on like papaya or passion fruit, but anytime I get that tropical fruit type of impression, and I'm thinking pineapple, you know, I'm sure there's some subtleties to it that you're also getting from papaya, passion fruit. I probably have to buy those more and smell them to try to get my perception up on those aromatics. You know, the malt is kind of that neutral, doughy, white bread, fluffy, weedy kind of aroma. Very nice though. It's really nice. I think I have good memories of the broccoli one, and I think there's other half that I did, and other half that I did beer. Okay, again, why we have pizza on the can, who hell knows? All right. So anyway, guys, cheers. Let's take a taste of this, a swig. Whoa, wow. Blasting with hop character on the flavor here. I may have to go back in again. Definitely there's some good carbonation there. You know, medium, high carbonation. The mouthfeel is definitely medium to medium high, that kind of chewy range, because it's definitely drinking like a juicy. So the mouthfeel is kind of medium high. Getting a little bit of warmth actually this quickly. It is at 8% or so, I think I told you. Yeah, 8%. So I usually around 7.5, 8 is really where I start to feel it. So I'm getting a little bit here. It's good. It's not solventy like in other beers I've done and other drinks that I've done. Some of you gave me a chuckle on that one. My Four Loko video. Definitely not Four Loko here. You do get that white bread, neutral, flowery kind of malt character. On the flavor, same thing. You're kind of getting it makes it easy. You're getting that pineapple, tropical fruit, little citrus with that apricot, maybe like, again, orange zest in there a little bit, but it's not like an orange juice bomb, okay? If anything, it's biased towards the pineapple. If someone wanted to argue and say, oh, I get more grapefruit, I wouldn't argue with you on that. I mean, because you are getting that citrus. This is a classic, they don't say it on the can, New England juicy hazy IPA, because it is like you are drinking juice. Now, thankfully, it is, hold on, you know, it has some residual sweetness, but what's great, it's not cloyingly sweet. So you do have a little bit of that, you know, malt there that you can kind of support a little bit of the hops. The bitterness is pretty pronounced to, yeah, I would say pronounced. I wouldn't go any higher than pronounced. And remember, that's the big thing between New England IPAs and West Coast IPA. West Coast IPAs, remember, if you've heard this 50 times already, I'm sorry to put you through it again. You're going to have a lot more pronounced bitterness, assertive bitterness in West Coast IPAs. Juicy IPAs, hazies are usually a little lower on the bitterness. That doesn't mean that they're not loaded with hop flavor and aroma, which this one is. It's just that it's hopped a little bit later on. The hops, when they add in the beginning of the boils, where they start extracting a lot of the alpha acids for the bitterness, then they put some, a little bit, 20 minutes at the end of the boil, roughly, they will add some more for flavor. And then at the end, or at what we call the whirlpool, which would be a little more for the aroma of the hops. But there is overlapping categories and cutoffs. So even the commercial brewers, even breweries probably this size, don't hit it to the exact minute. So you always have some overlap. But anyway, this is great. It kind of gets a little pithy, you know, probably from that little citrus character. That, you know, again, whether I say a little bit more, you know, whether it's a little orange, a little bit grapefruit, but it's a little citrusy, you get a little pithiness to it, and chewiness from the malt too, and the bitterness. But it's really nice. I mean, good medium full, mouth-bodied. This is kind of the epitome of a New England IPA. And what's great, the color looks good, doesn't look oxidized. I don't taste really any malt shift. Fantastic. Wow. Again, I gotta even say, I think it drinks a little lighter than the 8%, but neither here nor there. Really good one, guys. So if you like hazy, juicy IPAs, other side, today's beer dissection of Jumbo Slice, which looks like pizza on there. Is, you know, may drink it with a pizza. If you like your IPAs, your New England IPAs, bias a little bit more towards, you know, tropical fruit, pineapple, you know, some stone fruit like peach, which again, I didn't mention the flavor, but you still kind of get that stone fruit with the, again, my citrus component is a little orangey. So, you know, on the nose, it tastes a little more like apricot, or smell a little more like apricot, even on the taste buds. So you kind of get a little bit of that. But really well done, guys. This is a great beer. I would highly recommend it. Probably one of the better ones I've drank recently. Definitely store these cold. It is a IPA. Drink them fresh. Don't age them. Okay. So this, remember, this had Galaxy, Matuka, El Dorado hops, which I definitely brewed with El Dorado and Galaxy. I don't know if I've done Matuka. If I'm pronouncing that properly, or I've been mispronouncing it for a few years now. Anyway, guys, so today, and actually, I didn't give a grade. I have to give a solid A+ on this for New England Juicy IPAs. I don't drink this style all the time. Sometimes I can have one, maybe two, and then I got to move on to something else because it just becomes like I'm drinking like mimosas all the time, because it is like juice. But I'm going to give it an A+. And I'm really going to keep it at A+. So the overall drinkability, enjoyability, again, as if you watch any of my videos, pairing with stuff like this, these fruity, juicy, tropical fruit, I love it with spicy dishes like Jamaican food, Spanish food, Mexican, even light fishes. Anything, you know, even light fishes would hold up to this, because anything you would think you would add, like salsa, chutneys, things like that, would be fantastic with this. Even like ribs. You know, get like a blast of, you know, salsa in there and tropical fruit. And again, I don't pick up, you know, I'm not an expert, I'll admit, on papaya and things like that, or certain passion fruits, but, you know, you may be able to pick that up, and I would throw in those foods, and that'd be great, or at least drink it with those foods. All right, guys, so again, A+ beer, other half, Jumbo Slice. Go out and get some. I don't get commission on it, but until the next beer dissection video, guys, cheers. Have a